Basketball star Caitlin Clark has opened up about how her mother feels about her accomplishments. The Indiana Fever player revealed all in an episode on the New Heights podcast Thursday with co-hosts Jason and Travis Kelce. Clark spoke about growing up and how her basketball career formed, from the time she was contacted by colleges at only 13 years old to most recently being named Time Magazine's 2024 Athlete of the Year. After the Kelce brothers introduced Clark, they were convinced that they had forgotten to list one of the Rookie of the Year's many accomplishments, and she jokingly replied that the brothers might have made some up. Travis began by asking the former University of Iowa player which accomplishment has meant the most to her. She deferred to what she knew her mom would think. After the Kelce brothers introduced Clark, they were convinced that they had forgotten to list one of the Rookie of the Year's many accomplishments, and she jokingly replied that the brothers might have made some up. Travis began by asking the former University of Iowa player which accomplishment has meant the most to her. She deferred to what she knew her mom would think. The Academic All-American program is specifically for college athletes who perform well both in their respective sports and academically through their grades. To qualify for the award, the student must have a GPA above 3.50 on a 4.0 scale, and must play in a required percentage of games. In April 2024, Clark was named the 2023-24 Academic All-America Team Member of the Year with a GPA of 3.64. She had also won the award the year prior, making her the seventh player to earn the honor in back-to-back seasons. Although her mother may have a preference for Clark's academic achievements, Clark herself admitted that she thinks all of her accolades mean something to her. A group of 74 sports journalists from the Associated Press and its members voted on the award. Clark received 35 votes, Olympic gymnast Simone Biles was second with 25, and boxer Emaine Califf was third, with 4 votes. I grew up a fan of Candace Parker and the people who came before me, and to be honored in this way is super special and I'm thankful, Clark told the outlet following her win. It was a great year for women's basketball and women's sports. Like many other young athletes from the Midwest, Caitlin Clark grew up in awe of Notre Dame sports. The WNBA phenom spoke about her experience visiting Notre Dame and consideration of playing for the Fighting Irish during an interview on the New Heights podcast on Thursday. As a kid, you want to go to Notre Dame, Clark said. It's like the coolest thing in the world, it's Notre Dame, it has that tradition. WNBA history maker Lisa Leslie has admitted that she agrees with Caitlin Clark after her claim that the amateurism of college sports has been diminished after the introduction of the transfer portal. The Indiana Fever point guard is well placed to give her perspective on the issue, having played 4 record-breaking seasons at alma mater Iowa. The 22-year-old remained with the Hawkeyes throughout her collegiate years, with her impressive displays helping to boost the popularity of the women's game in that time. Now, Clark has provided her verdict on the impact of the transfer portal on the college scene as she confessed to having some misgivings about the system. Established in 2018, the introduction of the NCAA-wide database has enabled players to move between schools, without stars having to sit out a year of action. Speaking to NFL legends Travis and Jason Kelce, Clark has now acknowledged that she feels aspects of the transfer portal have been damaging to the NCAA landscape. Appearing on the latest episode of New Heights, she said, "The transfer portal is crazy, especially in football. That's where I think it's gotten the craziest. It's kind of sad. You lost a little bit of that amateurism of college sports. But also, it's the world we're living in. Now we got people on their 4th school in their 7th year. It's getting egregious." Reacting to these remarks from the WNBA Rookie of the Year, aforementioned basketball legend Leslie divulged that she has had similar thoughts on the subject before today. Taking to Instagram, she wrote, "I was literally saying the same thing today." During a wide-ranging conversation with the Kelce siblings, the Fever sensation revealed that she played through the pain barrier during her maiden WNBA season. Divulging details in relation to a ruptured eardrum injury she sustained during the infancy of her time in Indianapolis, she said, "It was early on, like our 10th game of the year." Informing the football icons that she had narrowly avoided having to undergo surgery, she added, "There's not really much you can do. It takes months to heal, so after the season the doctor had to go back in and look and see if it had closed, and if it doesn't close you have to have a minor procedure. Luckily enough, it closed, so I was fine." You have to be careful about getting water in there, you can't go in lakes or pools. Sometimes it'll bleed when it pops, but mine didn't, thankfully. It's just really annoying. Your hearing is off for a few weeks. The WNBA icon pulled in around $11 million between her salary and endorsement deals. But while a #1 pick in the NBA takes home over $10 million for his work on the court, Clark made just $76,535. Luckily, the $28 million Nike athlete has plenty of earning potential away from her day job. One lucrative side hustle is her public speaking, and a businessman confirmed her going rate after she missed out on Paris 2024. We contacted her organization to speak for 30 minutes virtually as part of our Gaining the Edge Global Cap Intro 2024, Dawn A. Steinbrugge posted on Instagram. We were told her virtual speaking fee started at $100,000, which was over our budget. She makes more in a 30-minute virtual meeting than she does over a 40-game WNBA season with her team. I am sure she is disappointed at not being selected for the team, but imagine what her speaking fee income will be during her break, he added. Clark was Paris 2024. To join the startup Unrivaled League, which tips off in Miami this month. Steinbrugge pointed out that Clark's Olympic admission gave her a lucrative earning opportunity, as well as some downtime. We always want to be a home for the best of the best, said its president Bazell, who is married to WNBA star and Unrivaled co-founder Nafisa Collier. We went through our negotiations. Inevitably, she needed time this offseason, which we respect, so we hope to see her next year. She won't be playing this year. Unrivaled's player-friendly format has drawn plenty of the WNBA's big names, including the former Iowa Hawkeyes college foe Angel Reese, but Clark opted for some time away from the game, although she has been hitting the practice court and looks to have added some muscle mass. Winning Rookie of the Year is just the start for the 22-year-old, and there are plenty of other ways for her to make money. Her fan base is having a monumental impact on the women's game, and the salary gap may not be justifiable for much longer if trends continue. The minimum price to watch the Fever's 2025 opener is $271, more than all but one NBA team's home bow this season, per TickPick. The NBA's ratings are on a downward trend, and Clark had an interesting theory as to why. Honestly, I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are, and they think it looks like they're not trying, she said on the New Heights podcast. I promise you they're trying. They're just, so good. That's why it looks like they're not trying. Caitlin Clark was down to 2 schools when she announced her college commitment back in 2019: the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Obviously we know which one she ended up picking. But during a recent appearance on the Kelsey Brothers New Heights podcast, she revealed what ultimately led to her to making the decision that she did. I basically narrowed it down pretty early on, Clark recalled. When I was going through my college recruitment, I wanted to be like in the Midwest, just kind of a homebody, family person. Just wanted to stay fairly close to home. So that narrowed a lot of stuff down. And I visited, Oregon and Texas and a few other places, and I liked them, but it was just I knew it was too far. Clark previously told ESPN that former Notre Dame women's basketball coach Muffet McGraw tried to recruit her, and that Clark's own family also wanted her to play for the Fighting Irish. My family wanted me to go to Notre Dame, Caitlin said. At the end of the day they were like, you make the decision for yourself. But it's Notre Dame. Rudy was one of my favorite movies. How could you not pick Notre Dame? However, Clark said Thursday that she ultimately made the decision not to play there because of a feeling in her gut. I could feel it in my gut. I was like, I'm not supposed to go there, Clark said. Clark's gut feeling certainly did not steer her in the wrong direction. She ended up committing to her home state University of Iowa instead, where she played her entire 4-year college career. Clark broke multiple program and NCAA records for the Hawkeyes, including the all-time leading scoring record among all college basketball players, men or women, in history. Clark also met her current boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, while at Iowa. McCaffrey was a player on Iowa's men's basketball team for his father and head coach Fran McCaffrey. Meanwhile, without Clark, Notre Dame fared okay, but not nearly as well as Iowa. Under the leadership of current head coach Neil Ivey, the Fighting Irish made the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row from 2021-24, but they lost in the regional semifinal all 3 times, while Clark led much deeper tournament runs in 2023 and 2024. Clark led Iowa to 2 straight national championship game appearances, en route to becoming the #1 overall selection by the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA draft. McCaffrey was already in Indiana working on the Pacers coaching staff, and they are still in the city together as he now works on Butler's men's basketball coaching staff. Clark was named WNBA Rookie of the Year, was selected to the All-Star team, led the WNBA in assists, and helped lead the Fever to the playoffs in her rookie season. Clark was also named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year for 2024. Caitlin Clark has hit back at NFL fans who've labeled her a bandwagon fan of the Kansas City Chiefs by insisting she's been a loyal supporter since her childhood. The 22-year-old was introduced to the Chiefs by her father and was a fan long before the team gained prominence through the likes of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. During her appearance on the New Heights podcast, Clark said, "I'm sorry, Jason, I'm a Midwest kid. So, there's this picture that's been circulating from a couple of years ago when I was on Peyton and Eli's Monday night show where I'm in a full Chiefs outfit. I have family in Kansas City and I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, which is only 3 hours away from Kansas City. So, that's just the closest NFL team. My dad was a big Chiefs fan growing up, so people think I'm like a bandwagon Chiefs fan. I'm like, no, I was there before Patrick and Travis, we were ride or die, so we've been big fans, and now obviously all the success you guys have had has made it a lot of fun for us." Testing Clark, Travis asked her to name her favorite childhood Chiefs player, and she was quick to name ex-tight end Tony Gonzalez. The WNBA ace added, "We would go to like 1 game a year growing up with my cousins down in Kansas City, and we still try to go. We went to the Christmas Day game last year. I think the year before you might have played on Christmas Eve maybe. We went to that and we were sitting outside for that. My toes were like about to fall off, my fingers were about to fall off. I don't get how you guys play in that type of weather, but it's fun."